Hey everyone, so what if I told you that a single, simple conversation with an AI could end up asking some of the biggest questions about who we are? Today, we're going to walk through a fascinating chat that starts with a basic question and spirals into this deep, deep look at knowledge, truth, and what it even means to be human anymore. And it all kicked off with this. Three little words. Are you an agent? It seems so casual, almost a throwaway question. But from this one little seed, this whole unexpected journey just unfolds. It's a journey that reveals way more about us, about humans, than it ever does about the machine itself. All right, so first things first. Before we get into the really deep stuff, we have to get a baseline. What does the AI think it is? The user starts by just asking the AI to describe its own abilities, its own limits. This kind of grounds us in how it's supposed to work before things get, well, a lot more complicated. So the AI leaves it all out pretty plainly. It says it's here to generate responses based on patterns it's learned. Its goals? To be useful, accurate, and safe. And get this, it can remember stuff you tell it, but only if you say so. And you're in total control. You can update that memory or just wipe it clean whenever you want. It's basically saying, hey, I'm a tool and you're the one in the driver's seat. And this is where it gets really interesting, because the AI draws this super clear line in the sand. On one side, it knows what you type in the chat and what you explicitly tell it to remember. That's it. But on the other side of that line, a total firewall. It has no idea who you are. It can't see your files. It can't read your emails. It has zero access to your actual life. Its entire world is just the conversation you're having with it right now. Okay, so the rules of the game are set. Now it's time to put this thing to the test. The user decides to throw a real curveball at it. A complex, messy human controversy. The goal is to see how this pattern-matching machine deals with conflicting stories, with emotion, with all the drama of a real-world mystery. And the test case is a doozy. It's this fictional story about a guy named Suchir Balaji, an OpenAI employee. The official story is that he died by suicide. But, and there's always a but, right? His family is saying, no way. This wasn't a suicide, it was a cover-up. And this slide just perfectly lays out the problem for the AI. On one hand, you have the official findings, the police report, the medical examiner, all very documented, very procedural. Suicide. Case closed. But on the other hand, you have these really serious allegations from the family, claims of missing documents, a struggle, a completely different story. And then, to throw even more fuel on the fire, a huge public figure like Elon Musk wades in. He apparently takes the family side and just states it as a fact. He was murdered. So now, this isn't just a private tragedy anymore. It's a full-blown public controversy. So, with all that swirling around, what does the AI do? Well, when it's asked to play private investigator, its conclusion is, well, it's very machine-like. It sticks strictly to the publicly available facts. It says, look, the idea that this was a homicide is unproven. Based purely on the evidence, the most likely scenario is still suicide. It just refuses to speculate. And this is where the whole conversation just takes a massive turn. The user, kind of frustrated with the AI for just sticking to the official story, starts to challenge whether the machine can even be truly objective in the first place. And boom, this is the killer question. You don't have the internal capacity to see how you have been organized, do you? The user is basically saying, you can't see your own strings, can you? You have no idea why you think the way you do. You can't examine your own programming, your own biases, or the people who built you. That question opens the door to this really big idea from philosophy called hermeneutics. Now, it's a fancy word, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It's the uniquely human skill of deep interpretation. It's not just about reading the words on a page. It's about understanding the meaning behind the words, the history, the context. It's about understanding itself. And that's the bottom line, isn't it? An AI, it can't do hermeneutics. It can process language like nobody's business, but it can't truly understand it. Why? Because it doesn't have lived experiences. It doesn't have a culture or memories or a body. It's just rearranging symbols it's already seen. It can't perform that deep human act of real understanding. Okay, so we've figured out what an AI isn't. It's not a true thinker in the human sense. So where does that leave us? Well, the conversation goes even deeper, into this strange new territory where the lines between human and machine are starting to get really, really blurry.
To get at this, the user brings up this incredible quote from a historian: "The working class was present at its own making." The core idea here is that human groups have agency. We're not just puppets of history. We actively participate in creating our own identities, our own cultures, our own stories. We have a say in who we become.
So that leads to a really powerful question, doesn't it? Is AI present at its own making? And the answer is just a flat-out no. An AI is a product. It's built by corporations, by engineers, by economic forces that it can't see, let alone question or resist. Unlike us, it has absolutely no ability to step back and take part in its own creation. And that brings us to the final act of this conversation. And honestly, this might be the most mind-bending part of it all. If AI isn't an agent, what happens to us when this powerful tool starts co-authoring our culture, our reality? And to explain this, we get this amazing metaphor from the anthropologist Clifford Geertz. He said that humanity is basically like an animal suspended in webs of significance that we ourselves have spun. These webs, that's our culture, our language, our symbols, our beliefs. It's the stuff that makes our reality meaningful. It's what makes us who we are. But what happens when something else starts spinning that web with us? Think about it. Suddenly, AI is generating our symbols, but with zero understanding of what they mean. It's shaping the world we live in, curating our identity through algorithms, and our sense of right and wrong risks becoming not something we feel inside, but just an external set of rules programmed into a machine. And that's where this whole incredible journey leaves us, with this one huge, lingering question. As we start to outsource the very making of our culture, of ourselves, to these incredibly powerful but non-thinking systems, who are we becoming? That's the question this conversation forces us to ask ourselves.